Yo, what up, you cats? My Escape 20 here, and today, guys, what I have for you here today is the brand new series I'm bringing to my channel, Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, this is one of my favorite games that I've ever played, so I'm really excited to bring this to my channel. So, you can find this first dragon in the Hinterlands, which is the very first area that you start off in. So, what I'm be doing with this series is kind of giving you some tips and tricks about the dragon, kind of what its vulnerabilities are and resistances, as well as some other abilities. Now, what I recommend doing for this dragon is I actually started it at level 12, but I could not beat it until actually level 13. I know there's some people that can, but I struggled a little bit. So the green air is its vulnerability, so it's vulnerable to cold, so ice, and fire is its resistance, so it won't be doing much damage. And the special abilities that it has are it summons dragonlings and it breathes fire. So those are the two main things that it does. It doesn't really do anything else. Some other ones will do a couple other special things that we'll see later on here. But just for at least this dragon itself, it's a pretty straightforward boss fight. I just think the only issue that people might have is early on is with gear, so that's kind of why I waited. I went to different areas other than the Hinterlands. I completed some quests. I got some secret items and stuff by doing the Astriums and different side quests, and then I was able to actually take on this dragon and pretty much beat it with ease. So yeah, so that would be my recommendation for you if you're having trouble with this dragon. So let's go ahead and talk about the different skills that I expect for my character, as well as the party members that I brought and kind of why I did that. So we'll go ahead and start with the party at first. So the people that I'm bringing, also just real quick, the reason why you saw that transition is the dragon actually flies to a different area. So you're going to have to go and chase that, and I just kind of cut out that 30-some seconds. So that's really all you missed here. It's not a new fight. It's the same fight. The dragon actually lands now. But anywho, so the team that I brought is Dorian, which is the mage, which is the second guy you see. The third guy is Blackwall, and he is a warrior, as well as the final guy is Iron Bull, and he is a warrior as well. So what I was going for in this one, I was having a lot of trouble just kind of keeping my members alive. So I didn't want to use someone like Sarah, or I didn't want to use maybe like Cole or something like that, you know, before I figured out that he was super broken. Now I'm sure everybody already knew that, but he's really strong, and you guys are going to see that later on in my boss fights. But for this one, I wanted a tanky front line. And then I always spec my mage into like a support mage first, and then later on I'll prioritize his damage. So for Dorian, like I said, what I did is I made him under the support tree, the green one, and then I invested in whatever vulnerability this dragon had. So for instance, I gave him some blizzard abilities as well as its normal spirit that he specializes in. Blackwall, I just went completely defensive, and Iron Bull, I made him like a bruiser, so he does a lot of damage when he's weak, when he's taking a lot of damage. So he's kind of like not like a glass cannon, but basically the more damage he takes, the more he outputs. So that's kind of where I went with that. So also, let's go ahead and talk about the specs that I gave for my archer. I love my Inquisitor, I really do. I think the archer class is, in my opinion, probably I don't know, I think it's the most fun, at least for me. I tried the mage, and I've done a little bit of the warrior, and they just don't really seem to fulfill that style that the archer does for me. Now in this video, he does kind of sit back a little bit, but later on you're going to see I play him very aggressively. This is just early on in the game, but what I'd recommend doing is getting, as you can see, my Y ability, which is the evasion. I definitely recommend doing that. That's going to be, I'll show you as soon as it comes up. I do it all the time, so I don't think you can miss it. Right there. So I went ahead and did a dodge roll, and that's super important for dodging the dragon abilities, the fireball, as well as the wing flap that he does to pull you closer. I think it's one of the most underrated kind of abilities on the archer. I don't know how many people actually use it, but I feel like mobility on a standstill archer is super important, especially if you're squishy. So I got that. The ability you just saw right there was long shot. It's definitely important for dragons because you're not point blank I also have explosive shot, which is under my B, and I really enjoy doing that. That's really nice. It kind of does an AoE based on the dragonlings as well, so if there's a group of dragonlings chasing you, like there are right now for me, you can just kind of dodge away from them and then shoot an explosive shot during during your back animation, and that way it's kind of like a quicker shot, if that makes sense. But anyway, and then the other thing I like to do is the RB, which is, I forgot what the exact thing of that, but basically it's like a patient shot, so you kind of draw it back for a second, you get on your knee, and then by doing that you do increased damage, and if a target has not taken damage yet, you actually do more damage, so that's pretty important to have, especially for these dragon fights. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And then finally on the back page, which I don't know if it's shown or not, but I have the invisibility. Like I said, it is early, so later on I did get rid of that, but I also have the poison. Now the poison is pretty important. Now what you need to do is hit the back button, like for PlayStation, or you can hit the whatever it is, the like left upper button next to the start button on Xbox One. So you need to do that, and that way you can go ahead and you can spec out the dragon, and you can see what it's vulnerable to. You can see its HP. You can also see its resistance and what it's immune to, as well as some other stats for it I can't think of from the top of my head. But in some future videos that you guys are going to see, I went ahead and actually did that. I just don't know why I didn't for the first one, but so yeah, that's pretty much some strategies I have for you. Basically, keep your distance. What I recommend doing is, as you can see right there, is investing in some fire-resistant potions or tonics. I can't remember which ones they are. I believe they're tonics, but that really helps you a lot. It allows for your party members not to take as much damage from the fireball, and that's really the biggest thing here, is keeping your team alive during this dragon fight. Later on, you can get dragon slaying runes as well as some armor and stuff that's going to help kind of negate some of its damage, but early on this dragon, it's very difficult to actually take down and stay alive. As you can see, I barely did it. I was well, I haven't done it yet, but it just kind of spoiled it, I guess, but that would kind of suck if I didn't get it after this. But even after all that, we finished out the dragon, and it kind of does its little dying effect, and some of the dragons have some pretty cool dying effects. This one actually is like one of my favorite. I guess they put a lot more into this one since it was the first one. I don't think all of them are like that intense, but still, I really like the way they did that. For doing this, you get your first achievement for killing a dragon in single player mode. So I really like doing that, especially if you're an achievement hunter. I'm not 100%, but I do like collecting achievements on games that I like. So as you can see, these are some of the things you get for completing this dragon. A lot of this is very important, especially early on when you don't really have that much stuff. And I definitely recommend saving all of your dragon scales and webbings and all that later on when you can craft tier 4 armor. In which I will be having a guide later on of how to get some, really good weapons and stuff like that. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned a couple things from this. So stay tuned for the next video. So previous video is my series intro for Dragon Age Inquisition. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go ahead and check that out so you can see what this series is going to be all about. And featured video is my final boss fight for what other game do I love dragons in? Well, Final Fantasy. These are like kind of part dragon type demon things, but this boss fight is really cool. It's kind of like, it just kind of reminds me of Dragon Age a little bit. Not really in the same style, but just parts of the game a little bit remind me. So I just thought maybe that would help. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see more videos of Dragon Age, like I said, you can go ahead and hit that like button. Also, best way to contact me is on Twitter at MyHeroescape20. And if you want to see me play this game live, go to twitch.tv/MyHeroescape20. So thanks, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. All right, peace.